My name's l.d.anderson. This is Life and Reason. What I want to talk about now, we'll call this blog, I should have said it up front, we're going to call this blog Appearance. So I want to talk about public appearance and being in pain. Now, understand that I'm not always in this much pain. We're waiting for a surgery to sort of redo my lower spine, and I'm in a lot of pain right now. But my pain, for months, sometimes I'll be at about a 5, and that's really, really good. But I want you to think about people in chronic pain, and you probably also think about this if you're depressed. Those things are so close. The symptoms of the two, not the symptoms, the manifestations of the two as into the world are quite a bit alike, except the chronic pain will be more specific. For example, my body, when I get up, my body wants to tip way to the left like this. And, you've seen people that kind of hobble around. That's the way that my body wants to go. Maybe it's because of pride. I think it's because my father taught all of us to project ourselves, when we went into a room, to be straight shoulders and to be a presence. And so it's really hard for when I go into public, even in my house, I stand up straight. I make myself stand up straight, and I know that's hard to do for a lot of people with spine injuries. I feel so when I see them in the doctor's office, the people that cannot straighten up, it's just so sad, because I have an inkling of how much pain you have to be to not stand up straight. Sometimes they're older, and I think that eventually I would let this slide. If it was more comfortable to be bent, I would not stay upright. So I'm not sure about that. Whether or not it might feel better to just stay bent over, I don't know. But I'm not going to give up on that yet. Okay, so appearance in public. And I'm surprised my daughter, who's sort of producing this, isn't laughing right now, because my public appearance is it's usually something that I've never really cared too much about. As a matter of fact, well, how should I say this? First of all, appearance in public. If you are able to stand straight, if you are able to not appear as if you're in pain when you're in the public, stand straight. Don't give the appearance of weakness. Don't give the appearance of being a victim. Even though you're in pain, you're not a victim. You're in a box, and it's not even a prison. It's a box that you can sort of control the size of. It's a box that sometimes some people can even get out of the box eventually, but do not let them see you cry or something like that. I think it's important for your own self-worth that you don't allow yourself victim status. Now, does that mean you should dress in a 3-piece suit and stand straight? My ability to do things with my body changes quite a bit. When I'm in, say for the last decade, when I'm in really good shape, I can sit for about an hour. Right now I could probably not sit 10 minutes, which is why I'm not sitting. I can stand, but when I stand, I'm jittery. I want to move. Right now especially, so this is not why I'm behind a podium, because I couldn't stand still. So when I go to a restaurant, I don't go right now, but if I went out to a restaurant now, I would stand at the table, wait for my food to be. I would sit and eat a little bit as long as I could stand it. Also, don't have any very little appetite when you're in this much pain. But just hypothetically, if I could go to a restaurant now, I would be antsy and moving, not where the public expects me to be in the restaurant. And when I go out in public, when I was, when I could sit for a half an hour, when I could make it through a meal or part of a meal, I dressed down, not up. I didn't want to call attention to myself. I actually did two things. I didn't. It's just very awkward for me, and I didn't want to call attention to myself as a sort of a formal, professional, person in control type of thing, because I'm not. So outside of weddings or funerals or some official occasion, I don't dress. I don't dress up. And that's I'm saying this to the chronic pain people, not because I think you should dress down, but because I think you should think about it. These are some things in life and reason, we need to think about it, how we appear. We accept the fact that we're in pain. We don't want to give the impression that we're a victim of that pain, that the pain controls us. So how do you appear in public? I guess some people could probably pull that off. I mean, if you were the president of the bank and you're in chronic pain, I don't know how you'd be a president of the bank and be in this much pain, but or say you're a retired doctor that has a certain status in your community. You probably would want to keep up the role of playing the doctor, although people would think you're up and moving around and can't sit through a dinner or a movie. It can be a little strange. And when as far as grooming, when the pain gets bad, it's really hard to groom. It's really difficult for me to stand over a sink and shave. It just hurts so much. So you'll see I'll shave every 2 or 3 days. On a day when I feel halfway decent, I'll make sure that I shave, because I'm not. If I miss that window of feeling semi good, then Another thing, though, that I did purposely, and I don't know if I'd even suggest this to anybody, but it worked for me. Remember, I'm a writer, philosopher, thinking, sort of semi-isolated anyway, and pretty much naive. I mean, there's something about being a philosophical, working with abstract ideas that makes us more naive in the world situations. But what I did, I'm not suggesting this for anyone, but I'm just putting these ideas out there for you, is that I let my hair grow long. Not all the time, but first of all, I couldn't go to a barber and sit through it. But when I was out, when I was in pain and I was out in public, I didn't have time. I didn't want to, nor did I have the time or the patience to be judged on my appearance. And there's something about being disheveled that it gives you an insight into the person that you come in contact with. I noticed how easily dismissed that I was by a lot of people, even people that may have known me, knew my writing, respected me, but didn't recognize me because I've I'm very haggard now, and I haven't been most of my life. I was always very young looking and pretty fit. And this is a strange idea, but I didn't want to put in the time to someone who would judge me by my appearance. So it was kind of a filter for me. It was like if someone, looked at me snobbishly, it was like, super, there's someone I don't have to deal with, and they've taken care of that. And they also told me a little bit about what kind of human being they are, frankly. So the most important part about appearance is that you do not appear to be a victim when you go out.